Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today I thought we would do the spool block. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos where they do the whole quilt, but I just want to do one block. So here it is.
From close up it may just look like a bunch of stripes. However, if you pull it backwards like a bow and arrow, you can almost make out the spool.
And do you recognize the fabric in the spool thread part? It's from the Creative Notions box. And notice that on this particular square, I'm not doing the half square triangle in the corner. I'm just doing the square in the corner, so it looks a little bit different. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix up these fabrics only in the middle. And on mine, I'm going to try to duplicate it because it didn't come out the correct size, but I corrected it as I made it, and I would like to show you how I did that as I do this one. So let's get started. Well, this is the way that I decided to go ahead and lay them out this time around. And all we're going to do is sew them all together. We're going to chain stitch them, so let's do that together. So I'm not going to do any pinning on this. This is pretty straightforward sewing. And like I said, I hope I can get it done the same way I did the last one so I can show you what I did to fix it. Now I'm not going to iron them before I put them together. I'm just going to go ahead and press it with my fingers. Try not to stretch it. And there's enough colors in the middle of this that they can all be different. They don't all have to be identical. If you're like the kind of person that doesn't like everything to be identical, then this project is for you. You could even make each one of your little blocks a different color. And yes, I will give you the sizes to these. Actually, I found this is a free Alright, so I can see it is going to come out exactly like the last one. I did my 1/4 inch along here. So if you're going to do this, you're going to want to use a scant 1/4 inch to get it to turn out. And I went ahead and I continued with my 1/4 inch. These are my side pieces, and as you can see, they're going to be a little bit longer than they need to be. So this is what I wanted to show you how to fix when I get done doing it. Oh, let me stop and go ahead and give you the directions on the sizes. Alright, if you would like to get this pattern off the web, which is where I got it, that's why it's a free pattern. It actually came from the Quilt in a Day. Your yardage for your background is 1/8 yard. You're going to need two 2 by 10 inch sides. You're going to need two 1 3/4 by 12.5 top and bottom. That's your framing border. And then for the block itself, you're going to need two 1.5 by 6.5 and four 1.5 inch squares. And then, you know, the thread, which are these right here, these are going to be 6, and you need them 1.5 by 7.5. They can be coordinating whatever color you want. And then the spool itself is 2 2¼ by 9.5. So stop the video, take all that down, and I'm going to go ahead and going to sew this in. And I'm still using my 1/4 inch. I got a little off of each end. I didn't start it at one end and then stop it at the other end, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here when I get it done. I'm going to do both sides now. And this fabric is actually leftover little snowflakes. I don't even know if you can see that, but I'll show you here. And really there's no rhyme or reason to ironing it. I'm just ironing it whichever direction. Just laying it down flat. Alright, let me show you. Okay, so here is how it comes out. See how it's hanging a little over there and a little over here. And then what I do, let me set this camera down. Hopefully I will not have my hands in the way. I'm getting a ruler that is bigger than the project itself. I'm lining this up along the bottom, as well as trying to make sure that it comes up against the edge of the pieces that are representing the thread. And then I take my rotary cutter and go all the way up like that. And so now I have it even, and then go to this side here and do the same thing. And what I'm trying to do is line up also, so I'm trying to line this side here on the edge here, and then this. And if it becomes too long, for example, let me show you here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a smidgen off here, but when I sew my next strip on here, that'll make up for it. This is how I fix the blocks for this case anyway, because somehow I should have used my scant 1/4 inch and I didn't right off the bat. So I thought, well, you know what? I just don't want to make a whole bunch of them different sizes. So the very next step is we're going to attach. This is what I'm going to do. This is my spool. This is the color that I chose for my spool. And I'm going to put these little squares in the corner. And this is just a piece of petite. So either side is going to be the correct size. Just you want your right sides together. I'm going to draw a diagonal line from this corner to that corner. And then I'm going to sew on the line. Then I'm going to cut the excess off and flip it over like that. So 2 on this and 2 on the other. And we'll go ahead and do that. Make sure that when you do this and you put these down, you don't want this line that you've drawn diagonally to end up in the corner over here. Because we're not sewing from the corner down. We're sewing from the edge of the fabric, or the middle of the fabric. I guess you could call that the middle of the fabric. And go ahead and sew all 4 of those. We're going to sew this bottom section onto here and the top onto there. Make sure your little white corners are towards your white fabric, or whatever color you're using for your spool, because you don't necessarily have to use white. You could use another color. The reason that I put pins in here is because of the length of this strip. And I'm not locking into anything into place. I just wanted to make sure that it didn't separate. Now that I've got that together, that's the way that one looks. And see, you're going to have a piece peeking out of each end. And I'm going to repeat the process of trimming that off.
This is lighter.
Yep.
Okay. How do I do it?
You're going to go in there and you're going to trim it, remember? I mean, you're going to sew it. You're sewing the 2 pieces together.
Like that?
Exactly.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm going to get
Thumb is
my tip off of that.
to the other corner. Hold on. I might have a brush going on.
Okay. I'm here if you got a question. Now we've gone that far, and now we're going to be putting our sides on first, which is this side and this side. I'm going to repeat the process just like I've been doing. Alrighty, I just thought about this. So let's say that this is what's going on with you right now, and you're trying to figure out how to get it even and everything. So what I would do is take this piece of fabric here, and I would fold it in half and get your middle section. If you're going to want to divide it between the 2 ends so it lays right, fold this in half, and then get your middle section here. Just pinch it a little bit, that's all it takes. Make sure that they're right sides together. Pin it in there, and then it comes out on each end the same when you do it. I feel like my camera has a mind of its own today. It's turning on whenever it wants to. Got my foot on the pedal to the metal now. And the other side. Okay. I'm going to need to learn how to use them now.
I can't hear you. What?
You need it for that end, honey. Now I did this one a little bit different than I did the last one, and when I get finished, I will go ahead and I'll put the two together next to each other, and then I'm going to show you how I did each one. So neither way is right or wrong. It's whatever you want to do. I'm not following the directions. I'm just putting it together based on the picture itself. I thought I was going to have either my cotton cuts square or my Creative Notions box, but neither one of them came. They said they had a delay. So I went ahead and decided to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and work on a AccuQuilt because I have some strip dies that I want to show you because I'd like to make a postage stamp quilt or runner. Probably not a runner. I'll probably make like a, well, I really thought about making one to put on my curtain. Oh gosh, I think that would be real pretty with the light coming in. I'll have to think about that a minute. I got strips that I'm going to go ahead and use. I'm not going to use my fabric, I don't think. I'm just debatable about what I have in the way of fabric. Sometimes when you get that cut down so small, you lose a lot of your design, so you just want to have the prints. And I think I have a jelly roll that I can use. I could make it larger, but since I have the strip die, I like to make it smaller. I do have the 2.5 inch strip die also. Now, let me show you what I've done so you have an idea, because you can do it either way you want to do it. The first block I did is right here. And it has the widest part on the right and the left, and the narrow strips on the top and the bottom. Now, the next one I made has the narrower strip on the right and the left, and the wider ones on the top and the bottom. So looking at them, it almost gives you the illusion of the size being different. In other words, one looks a little bit wider than the other. One looks, I know it sounds kind of funny, but one seems to look a little bit taller, and one seems to look a little bit wider. Although they're the same, but they are different sizes, because, let me line up the blocks for you here, because that one with the wider side is shorter than the one with the longer. But you can do it either way you want. And I'm showing you this because if you decide to do the block, you need to do them all the same way, or else they will be different like this. So it depends on what you want. This one seems to have a longer, taller spool. This one seems to have a shorter, fatter spool. Although it's the same size of fabric, they're all cut out the same. Just by having this one thing changed, it changed the outlook of the spool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you next time. Thanks to all of my new subscribers for joining. Give me a thumbs up, make a comment if you like this video. Click on the little bell so you can get more videos, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.